Hey guys, welcome back. Today I am playing in my December Not Quite Daily album again, working on a couple of page ideas like I did last time, and then I'm gonna finish those up later on. Now, once again, I am just starting with a base page. It's just a basic white cardstock. I've trimmed that down to 5 by 8 1/4 to fit into my Life Crafted album as a full page. And I'm using the bold or basic alphabet dies from scrapbook.com and my T-square ruler. I'm just going to line these up in my page and I'm going to die cut them through the base cardstock. So I want to get those as straight as possible. I am cheating and taping them both at the same time. I'm going to use my magic mat again from scrapbook.com. Love this thing. It just makes the die cutting so much easier, cleaner, and I'm going to use it a bunch on this page because now that I have die cut my first hoe through my paper, I am going to do a whole bunch more die cutting with those very same letters. This time though, I am going to cut them out of some pattern paper. So I am using the 6x8, I was going to say 6x6, the 6x8 Hey Santa paper pad, and I'm just picking out all of the kind of more subtle patterns, I guess. Because I'm cutting out letters, there's not going to be a whole lot of these patterns showing, so I need the actual more kind of basic patterns rather than the ones with characters and that on them. I am also sticking to a pretty monochrome color scheme of pink and red, but I am using both sort of kind of pinks. In Hey Santa there's this you can see here really cool toned pink, and there's also at the top there really sort of peachy kind of pink as well. So I'm using all of them as well as some red, and I'm going to go ahead and just cut down two 2-inch strips of each pattern paper. And then I'm just going to line up my alpha dies. I was going to try and squeeze on as many as I can, but I only get 2 lots of the H and the O out of each strip. And I'm not going to make you watch all of those, but I am going to die cut all of those letters out of all of those strips and come back once I have the piles and piles and piles of hoes that I'm intending to end up with. So there you go. That took a considerable amount of time, but that was really the majority of the work for this page all done. All I'm going to do now is glue all of these hoes back down onto my cardstock. So I've grabbed some little reverse tweezers and I am using the scrapbook.com Smart Glue. I really love this glue. It does dry very quickly, which makes it perfect for this sort of project. I'm going to fill this entire page with these hoes. And so I'm starting right next to my die cut letters because I want to just fill the page from there to make sure that I get all of those in there. And I am just using my ruler just to attempt to try to keep things straight, given there's such a great expanse of paper here to cover. I was worried that as the further I went along, the worse it would get. So I am trying to use the ruler to keep things as aligned as I can. But I mean, it's a handmade page. It's never going to be super perfect, but I'm okay with that. I got it as perfect as I was capable of doing. Now, the other thing that I'm doing as I am going up and down this page, gluing everything down, is just trying to balance out where the colors are. Obviously, the pattern papers, I've got 2 that are that much bolder red, and so I'm attempting not to have any patterns right next to each other, either beside each other or on top or bottom of each other, and also just trying to make sure that there's kind of a distribution of the brighter colors and the more subtle colors, those sort of cooler pinks and the warmer pinks. And you can see here I pretty successfully achieved that. Towards the end of the page, I was running out of letters, but I was determined not to have to go and die cut anymore, and I did manage to achieve that. I sort of filled up the bottom and then the 2 rows above the die cuts, and then I started to get a little bit more strategic about planning what I had left and where they were going to go. At the top and the bottom of this page, I'm only really having to glue on a tiny little bit of the letter because there's only a little bit that's going to be shown, and then I can go ahead and just trim the rest of that off with my scissors. So the die cutting took a while, the gluing took a while, but that's this page done, and I really, really love how that turned out. It's kind of like creating your own pattern paper, but with patterns that you already love. Plus, I mean, title, done. Definitely done. I'm not sure what I'll end up putting on this page as I'm doing it, but you'll see soon enough. I found the perfect little photos for it. So once that's all trimmed down, that's my page done. I just need to re-punch the holes down the side of it. And I did go ahead and let that glue dry before I started working on the back side of this paper. Now, because I die cut the word ho through the front of it, that means on the back it says O, which was perfect because it perfectly suits Oh What Fun, which I figured was a pretty generic enough title that I'm sure I would be able to find photos to fit into that kind of title. So that's what I'm putting down. I'm using a couple of alpha stickers from Citrus Twist, one of those red, very thin alphas. And this was a phrase sheet, and it had the word fun on it, so that worked perfectly. All I needed to do was add those two words, and I am just putting in a little bit of scrap card there. You can see I've got a 2 by 2.5 by 2.5 inch square. I'm just going to be using that as a placeholder for a photo. I think that sort of fits nicely in there. And then I just added a few little star stickers as embellishments. Whether those sort of stayed or I added to them, it just gave me an idea of something I might do with that page. So here we are, present time again, and I can go ahead and finish off these pages. Now I had a few little photos of Lil in her Santa costume. There's always an annual photo of poor old Lil being put into her Santa costume. She looks so cute, I just can't help it. I printed out 4 photos. I wasn't sure really which one I was going to use, and in the end I decided to use all 4, and I'm popping them into one of those 2x2 page protectors, but I trimmed it down so it's only one row, one column of 2x2. I figured a photo on top of all of that alpha work is just going to be super busy. It doesn't do justice to all the time that I spent putting the letters down, and it also doesn't do justice to the photos because everything just kind of gets busy and lost together. This way it all stands out on its own. So really the only thing that I'm going to do to kind of embellish this page, using the term very loosely, is I'm cutting a lovely piece of ribbon, and I am going to just stitch that onto the side of the page protector. I have been really careful just to stitch that onto the very, very edge of it so that I can still put something into the other pockets on the other side. It doesn't cover up that slit at all because the photos of Lil are actually on the back side of that page protector, so I am going to need to fill in the front of that at some point. And then on the other side of the page, the Oh What Fun side, I'm also going to add a page protector to kind of make this into an entire spread. I made my first ever gingerbread house. And it was not quite as fun as I expected it to be. It was mildly frustrating, to be honest, and I ended up with the kitchen just covered in icing and sugar, but I did end up with a little gingerbread house, and it is pretty cute. So, you know, firsts for everything. I've definitely learnt. Next time I will do things a whole lot differently, but what I'm going to do is just use another one of these page protectors. It's a 6x4 photo at the top with a little 2x4 slot at the bottom, which is where I added my journaling, and I've just printed a photo to pop into there. To cover up that spot on the left hand side where I had a 2.5 inch square photo holder in there, I just took a few photos while I was making the gingerbread house. They're not great photos, so I just made a little photo collage with 4 of them. Sort of shows my process, and I guess adds to my journaling there. And like I said, I wasn't sure about the embellishments when I put those down, so I did pull back off the little red star stickers. They definitely 100% could have stayed there, but I knew that in my Christmas stash here, I had some little kind of candy stickers, and I just thought that that kind of went with the theme a little bit more than the stars. So I did leave the gold stars there because they help tie in that kind of the gold word fun. Otherwise it would have looked a bit funny, I think, having just one word in gold. So the stars help to tie in the gold. But I'm adding a few little clear stickers from that Hey Santa sticker book, and I've got a couple of kind of peppermint candy puffy stickers. They're from a Rosie Studio sticker pack. So I'm literally just placing them back down in the same place where the red stars came from. I'm adding a few more than I did before, just because it's that kind of page. Plus it is a very simple page, so it can handle just a few extra little stickers. But that's it. That's how simple those pages come together. Again, I had another win with doing these previous pages before the actual day. I think I put all of this together in about 15 minutes. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If you want to keep watching, there are a couple more videos on screen. Otherwise, I'll see you again next time. Bye guys.